Hey guys, Naz here with another video. In this video, I'll be going over my one-shot, one-kill build with the Stalker. This is a late in endgame build for anyone who didn't fully read the title, so you have been warned for spoilers. Okay, with that out the way, let's get into this, yeah? Before I go over the arts, I believe it's best we discuss the base skills as this will give us a better understanding of how I got to this build. Swift Death is a flat 70% damage increase if the enemy's below 30% or lower HP. In Cold Blood boosts our damage by 150% if the foe is suffering from a bleed. Now this is the biggest trap I've seen in an RPG. Huh? What are you talking about, Naz? This skill makes us want to build into bleed, right? It's 150% damage increase. How are we gonna pass that up? The endgame enemies all have a high resistance to debuffs, making this actually hard to pull off. Not to mention in chain attacks, buffs and debuffs wear off after 3 characters take a turn, on average. I can go on, but that'll make the video 5+ minutes longer. If you really want to know why, you could also read the description, where I'll have a more detailed on this. Okay, next up is Evasion Expertise. This is nice for fights where the enemy has range AoE attacks, but that's about it. Serene Heart helps us reduce our aggro, so we don't die. Dying is bad, but with this build, it's especially bad. We'll get into that in a bit. You'll want your blades to be level 20, so the master skills are at their full potential. Now our first master skill is going to be Critical Strike from Flash Fencer. When I think of an archer class, I think of a one-shot, one-kill, and nothing else immerses me more than a fat critical hit. Universal Annihilation from Seraph is here because it's the highest raw additive to our damage we can have. When an enemy is launched, they also take more damage, so we may as well stack on that. Lastly is the Oddball. I for Weak Points from Martial Artists increases our critical hit rate by 2% for each hit, meaning we'll need 50 hits to double our crit rate from 30% to 60%. I'll explain the 48% in a bit. If you played Stalker, you know our hit count is low and dying will set us back quite a bit. So let's go over the arts as they may seem a little weird, but it'll make sense. Landslide is here because our other options are bad, and they'll just ruin this build. Rapid Shot is our bread and butter for damage as it has a whopping 520 base, and it further increases damage by 150% if we attack from the side. In a chain attack, all positional requirements are automatically met, so you don't need to be on the boss's side before you hit the plus button. Night Hunt is here because it helps reduce our aggro even further with Serene passive. Staying Power just doesn't work with what we're trying to do, and Driving Arrow may seem odd not to include. It's a 200 base potency that applies a bleed if we attack from the back, which would give us the 150% more damage. This is true, but it's not worth it in the long run. Just keep watching and you'll see why. Since we need 50 hits to make this build come to life, we're strictly using Soaring Tempest and Gale Slash to achieve that, and it gives us a launch in case our AI has theirs on a cooldown. Now to the last master art we want to pair with the beefy Rapid Shots. Before I explain why Quick Draw is here, I think it's best we discuss why the other two contenders aren't. Demolition seems like an easy pick as it has a 440 base with a 50% chance to pierce defense. This is the second best option, but I wanted a more consistent build and this seemed too coin flip for my taste. For anyone watching and you want to gamble for the God Run, then go with Demolish. If you want higher damage, then go with Ether Cannon, which has a 485 base. Now in these types of games where you can hit the damage cap with big potency moves, there are two things we could do to bypass the cap. One is equipping an item or a passive, but as of making this video, none exists to my knowledge. So that leaves us the second option. That's to split our damage into smaller hits, which will overall do more damage than the one big beefy hit. This led me to pick Quick Draw. Not only does this hit twice, which may fool you as the 270 base is actually 540, and it boosts its damage by 100%, meaning it's a lot closer to Rapid Shot than Demolish or Ether Cannon. Next we'll go over our gems. Sadly, there's only 2 gems that really work in a chain attack, and that's going to be Steel Cleaver, which increases our strength. This is our base, so we may as well have this as high as possible, and Analyze Weakness is another 70 on our critical damage multiplier. Lastly, we'll go with Disperse Bloodlust because we don't want to rip aggro from our tank and die. Even though that's already a little hard to do, we just want to further capitalize that we never take hate. Now that our gems are set, let's go over our accessories. Saturni rings have the highest attack bonus we can get. Mercury rings are here to take our base 30% crit chance to 48, and once we double that we'll be at 96%. Lastly, we're running Warped Black Brooch, as this is the ether version of Ultimate Qigong. Ultimate Qigong and other accessories with this tech actually take off a flat percentage from our foe, and if their defense is already low, then we can make those numbers go into the negative. This is a must as it's on a separate multiplier, and it's always best to work on those than building one high damage multiplier. I don't believe there are any other multipliers left in the game as of making this video, so these are the best we can do until future DLC. Okay, now that we're fully set, you'll want Gondor as your hero. The reason we're running her is because of her order. She increases the critical hit damage multiplier by 150%. Here's the full team comp if anyone wants to copy it. Signifer is mandatory as it increases our damage easily with Power Charge. Power Charge doubles our damage and she could pass that to everyone. Medic Gunner's Powering is a separate attack buff that stacks with the attack buff that you normally can get, and Power Charge. Now on to Uni. I specifically made this team to help apply bleed on the off chance we get it, but especially on Uni. She's a Stalker that not only runs Driving Arrow, but also Hidden Thorns to increase our chance that one of them connect. I'm also running the Refined Incantation Gem and a skill Sappy-Sappy Drain to further increase our chance at success. If anyone has any specific questions, please ask and I'll gladly answer. When we get into battle, we'll want to start off with Night Hunt. To lower our aggro, we'll be establishing with our attacks. From there, just chain cancel your arts. Positionals don't matter too much as most of our damage will come from the chain attack. Your goal outside of the chain attack is to get to 50 hits so we could get 96% crit chance. Once the enemy is broken and toppled, you'll want to gather the party and launch it when it's close to the end. This is used to buy time so the AI groups up so we get more people under Power Ring. I'll do a demo here on the chain attack as it's the harder part to pilot. We're looking for Gondor, Uni, Noah, and Taion in that order to maximize our damage. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to pick Uni here because if we pick Taion, then we can't pick Uni until the end and we want that ether defense down as soon as possible. We attack with Noah here to get the First Blood bonus, which will get our TP higher. I use Lance here to pass Power Charge and the attack buff to everyone, which helps build the TP as close to 99 as possible. Gondor is used at the end as it'll make us hit a Bravo, which gets 2 characters back. And Gondor's Heroic Chain lets her always reactivate, so it acts as a pseudo amazing. You see Gondor, you pick Gondor. Once again, we're going with Noah here to build up TP and take advantage of that bleed. If we continue with this cycle of Noah, Lance, and Gondor, then we'll always get them back. Gondor and Noah may need to swap once his TP gets close to 80, as the First Blood bonus will push him past 100, and that's gonna mean we're gonna miss out on some free damage. Oh wow! So we don't have any of the 4 characters I'm looking for here. Our best bet here is Senna, as if we use Lance then he loses the Power Charge, which completely ruins this build. At least Senna can get hers back and Pio's order is completely useless. This may seem wasteful to only use 3 characters per turn, but it's the best we can do without diluting the pool of who we get back. We want to use Noah every round as he's our highest damage dealer, and this is just the safest option. Sadly, we have to go with Taion here to get the 5th round. Since this is the last round, we could use our other attackers to get some more damage in, as we'll be getting the Ouroberries next, which means we don't have to gamble on getting Noah back. Oh, the reason we're using Taion and Uni's Ouroboros is because they have a passive that increases their damage up to 500% for every buff we have. No other Ouroberries can touch them, plus their order is really good as it lowers the enemy's defense, and it can make them go into the negatives. As you can see, the 2 power rings are stacking with the attack and power charge buff. We could have had more damage if I had the better order that I mentioned, but hopefully you could see even with the suboptimal order, we're able to hit 81 mil. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And don't forget, if this video brought value to you, please leave a like and consider subscribing to see more as I play a wide array of RPG games and I break them down just like this. Until the next video, I'll see ya.